It's time for back and biceps, and we're going to get right into it. And my first warm-up sets usually are on wide grip pull downs, but the machines were taken at this moment, so I did weighted or assisted pull-ups until one of the pull down machines was available, and then I went to those. All right, so on the lat pull downs, I go with a wide grip. I do use lifting straps when I start going heavier, but I do about 2 or 3, actually 3 of these sets, and I do 12 reps, and I increase the weight each time and get good warm up for the biceps, elbows, back. So this is usually how I begin my back workout almost all the time, is with pull downs. And here's something I added. I do a sort of a high angle pull down, as you can see there, just to get it mostly works the upper lats, rear delts a little bit, but gets a really good burn once you do your pull downs for 12 reps, and then you do some of this right here. That gives a good pump. So I start putting my lifting straps on. I'm going to be working biceps after back, so I'm trying to save my grip. And with the straps, some people have hooks, but I have these straps, and it helps you focus more on pulling with the back, not so much the forearms and biceps. So you could really focus on pulling with those upper lats. So these few warm-up sets, and we're going to go to one of my basic mass building movements, usually some sort of a pull movement, like from the ground, like a barbell, bent rowing, or T-bar rows. Today it's going to be T-bar rows. All right, so this one is the T-bar rows, real good old school exercise. I just wedge the bar in the corner, and I use the triangle handle, and I start with 2 plates, and then I go up progressively, and I try to practice good form here and get a good stretch at the bottom, and don't want to stand too upright. You really want to work the lower you bend down, the more your upper lats and middle lats. If you stand up too straight, it's going to work too much of the lower back. But this will work the lower lats. You can kind of see the lower lats engaging here. Notice I don't look up. I kind of look down to make sure I am pulling and bending over more. And here we are with 4 plates. It's about as heavy as I go. Notice in the corner I have a 10-pound plate wedged on the bar so it doesn't pop up from the back there. But I'm using lifting straps here, and it's pretty heavy weight, but I'm just trying to hoist it up there and try to build some thickness in the back. And here's just a finishing movement. I don't know, I just threw this in at the end. Sometimes I do the pullovers with the bar on the cable, Do straight arm pullovers. This one I'm just repping out some reps. This was a spur of the moment thing I was doing here. With this kind of movement, you can do lots of variations. You can go heavier, lean back. You can be strict. You can twist the wrists up, the palms facing up. You can keep them at a neutral grip. You could do this machine one at a time, but I'm just trying to get some reps in here and get some fatigue in those lats before I work biceps. And here I'm trying to pull with the wrist. You can see the wrist turning out. Trying to be a little more strict on this one, sitting up straight, just really trying to squeeze the scapula together. All right, this is one last finishing movement. Just gonna do one set of these. You notice it's very lightweight. You get the triangle handle and you pull it down below your chest and you squeeze and you really get those lower lats. You sit up straight, and I like this movement sometimes when I'm going more for isolation work and good pump in the back doing this exercise. Go strict and light, and it works really good at the end of your back workout. And then for good measure, I decided to stand up and do some of these high angle pull downs. And this really fatigued me on this one. This was my last set of back. So I felt pretty strong this morning, so I just kept going. And now it's time for biceps. And here I am warming up. A lot of times the first movement I'll do is either cable curls or some seated dumbbell curls. I use the back support, and I just getting some warm up and playing around small weight. I'll do alternating or together, but I try not to do too many sets for biceps, especially after back. I get pretty tired, and you don't have to go too heavy. So I do bis twice a week, and when I'm doing back and bis, I don't go as heavy on biceps. This day, when I'm just doing bis and tris together, I go heavier on arms. And here I'm supinating the wrist, and I'm trying to keep the wrists straight up, the palms straight up on the way down, because you get the eccentric, and that hits more directly to the biceps. And then when you do the supination, you can work the forearm a little bit, the brachialis, and I'm doing alternate dumbbell curls here. But I try to keep the palms up on the way down. I don't twist it back to neutral grip too soon. Even though right now I'm having a little tendonitis in my elbow, golfer's elbow, I guess it's called, this doesn't bother it too much. It's more of straight bar or cambered bar curls going heavy. With the dumbbells, I guess we'll have the freedom of motion, so it doesn't bother my tendonitis too much. But here I am just pumping out, getting a good warm up on this first exercise. All right, so right now I'm kind of nursing golfer's elbow in my right elbow, even though I don't play golf. Anyway, I have been going a little bit lighter on biceps, but biceps are small muscles. You don't have to really go that heavy. If you go continuous tension and really focus on the squeeze. I've been using these fat grip type things. You slip them over the bar, and it actually checks your ego because you can't go as heavy using these, but it gets your grip really strong and really makes you go lighter and more strict. So I use these very often. So I use them a lot on the cambered bar. You can use them on dumbbells, straight bars, whatever. So I'm going to be using these now for these light barbell curls on the cambered bar. So this is a pretty lightweight, and I'm taking it easy, but I'm using the fat grips. I'm trying to be real strict with my form just to get constant tension on the biceps. I am pyramiding the weight here. It's still relatively light. I'm not cheating or anything. I'm just doing strict. And try to do 10 reps, maybe 12 at the most. I don't want to overwork the biceps. Those fat grips that I have really give you a little new dimension. If you haven't tried those, I recommend it. You can tell, even though this is lightweight, the cambered bar curls, you can see it hits your frontal deltoids as well as your biceps. So it's a good movement. All right, so typically I like to do 3 sets for biceps. I'm sorry, 3 exercises for biceps, and each exercise 3 to 4 working sets. So maybe 8 to 10 total sets for biceps. You notice when you're doing biceps, you're still using ancillary muscles like forearms and shoulders. So I like to hit the biceps from all angles, and usually my last movement would be for the brachialis, right here and up in here. So I usually either do hammer curls or reverse curls on a cambered bar. And so let's see what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do alternate hammer curls. So usually at the end of my biceps workout, I like to work the brachialis, or the side of the biceps, you can see there in the forearms. So hammer curl movements and reverse curls are good for that. And this one, I'm just kind of swinging it up there. I'm going to work up to 50 or 55 pounders. And believe it or not, it doesn't bother my golfer's elbow. So I'm trying to go as heavy as I can. And I work my way up the rack. I think I just do 3 sets of these total. right, I'm gonna finish off with one light burnout set of reverse curls on the cambered bar using my fat grips, just to show you what it is. Just gonna go one set strict to failure, or near failure, maybe. All right, these are gonna really work the forearms pretty good. So just do what I can. All right, so the whole back and biceps workout took me about an hour and 15 minutes. And as you can see, there's just so much variety you can do. I like to do biceps, 3 different types of movements, 8 to 10 sets total. And I'm using these for more lighter isolation movements. And they really force you to go lighter and more strict. So biceps are not big. You don't have to go heavy on those. Just focus on concentrating, focus on contracting. Time under tension is important. So that was my back and biceps workout. Hope you liked it. Please get a thumbs up for me, please. And tomorrow is going to be shoulders and tries. So stay tuned for that.